We are looking at question 14, which is a sequencing sentences question. On your exam, you will see 1 to 2 of these. And what questions like these ask of you is, first of all, they require you to understand an entire paragraph. And you can see that within this paragraph, we have 6 numbered sentences. And one of these 6 sentences might be in the wrong place. And this question is about sentence 4, so it's this one. So I'm going to erase my circles around the other ones and just leave sentence number 4. And we are asked, to make this paragraph most logical, sentence 4 should be placed, and then I'm not even going to read the choices for the time being, because the strategy that I want to use with a question like this is to build my own prediction. If you go in and you try to plug sentence 4 into the various choices, without a full appreciation of the paragraph, it's going to take longer than you want. So this is, in my experience, a more efficient way to approach a problem like this. So the first thing I want to do is read the paragraph, paying close attention to transition words. Anywhere that there might be like a gap or something that doesn't seem to make sense contextually, because what we're looking for is whether or not the sentence is going to be out of order, or if there's another place in the sentence where it looks like it might fit. So words like however or although or something that contrasts or might suggest like introducing something might provide a place for our wayward sentence to live. So let's give a look. This is from The Beaver as Ecosystem Engineer. An ecosystem is a complex web of interactions between organisms and their habitats. Each component is vital to the sustainability of the others and to the system as a whole. Beavers, large rodents that use sticks, mud, and leaves to build dams and streams, are perhaps one of the best examples of the interpersonal relationship among all aspects of an ecosystem. I don't think that's the right word, but that's not what we're working on right now. Here's our sentence in question. New efforts to cultivate beaver populations reflect a growing recognition of the vital role beaver dams play in combating the effects of drought and preserving species diversity. I mean, that kind of works in context because they just referred to dams and streams and interpersonal or whatever, call it interdependent probably, relationship among all aspects of an ecosystem. I don't know about drought, though. I don't know that this is in the right place. Let's keep reading. Beavers fell trees to build their dams, and the ponds that form behind a dam can flood the surrounding area. Despite the seeming drawbacks to beaver dams, so this begins with despite, but here we have a connection to flooding, so that does seem like a seeming drawback. So these are in the right place. Despite the seeming drawbacks of beaver dams, emerging research confirms that they actually provide significant environmental benefits. This actually is doing a good degree of work. I'm curious whether or not that functions as its own kind of introductory transition word. So, does anything feel out of place? I think sentence 4 does feel out of place. I think that there's probably something that could introduce it a little bit better. I think it could conceivably be used as a backup for a claim. Another way to say that is, are any ideas explained before they're actually introduced? And I kind of think that we could talk about the significant environmental benefits. That's definitely combating the effects of drought and preserving species diversity. That feels like a significant environmental benefit to me. So if there's an option to put sentence 4 after sentence 6, I think that's what I would go for. And that's kind of the general idea with questions like this. If you see something that looks like evidence for a point that is made later, that means that the sentence is just in the wrong sequence. And that's probably where it ought to go. So that's my prediction. I'd like it to go after sentence 6, if that's an option. So after benefits, because there's an example of benefits. To make this paragraph most logical, sentence 4 should be placed where it is now. That's not my favorite. After sentence 1, an ecosystem is a complex web of interactions between organisms and their habitats. I don't like that because I feel like sentence 2 also flows into sentence 1. Each component of that ecosystem is vital to the sustainability of the others and to the system as a whole. I don't think that there should be something inserted in between to break it up, so I'm going to say no. After sentence 5 is choice C, but I don't like that either because, as I pointed out earlier, sentence 5 is about how a dam can flood the surrounding area, and then sentence 6 talks about how that's a seeming drawback. And that leaves us with choice D after sentence 6. Great. We have the introduction of significant environmental benefits, and then we pull out sentence 4, put it there. What are those benefits? Combating the effects of drought and preserving species diversity. It didn't happen in this question, but another great way to test whether or not a sentence is out of sequence is whether or not it has an ambiguous pronoun. And that means that the antecedent, the word that the pronoun is referring to, is located somewhere else in the paragraph. And so the best way to fix that is to put them next to each other. Identify time gaps. Look to see if things are out of chronological order. If something is being described before it's introduced, that's a great sign. If there's a however in a place where it doesn't make sense for there to be a however, that's another great sign. So overall, look for time weirdness and look for transition words that don't seem to make sense in their current context.